Welcome back to, or for the first time, the Anxiety Hour, where we are learning, growing, and evolving together. Growing by yourself is very important. We got to do the work individually, but also having the support system of other people who have done what you're trying to do or are currently doing what you're trying to do. It helps us grow that much stronger and that much quicker. If we have healthy, fertile soil that we're planting our garden in, those fruits, those vegetables are going to be much fuller, they're going to be much brighter, they're going to be much more nutritionally dense. So, I want this to be a fertile garden. If you don't know me, my name is Marcello. I am most well known on YouTube for a video called Why I Love Zoloft, talking about anxiety, my personal experiences with anxiety, as well as medication, aka Zoloft. And today, I want to pick up where I left off, which was about 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was in 2016 or 17. And at that point in time, I had just come off of medication because I had experienced really intense anxiety for the first time. And that really intense anxiety, it was, again, my first time, and therefore I didn't really know much about it. I didn't know what was happening to me, why I was thinking the way that I was thinking, why I was feeling so low, and why I was feeling so low. I didn't have any tools around it, and for that reason, it was very scary. It's kind of like if you have a rash or something and you don't know what it is, your mind can kind of run rampant on like, oh no, like what is that? Is it going to get worse? You know, those anxious feedback loops, those negative feedback loops where you just kind of go down the rabbit hole and you kind of lose yourself in the fear or the doubt or the worries. And because it was my first time, I didn't know what to do. I tried a few different things, but I couldn't keep an attention span with the things that I was trying. Like I was trying to read about the mind and I was just getting so anxious that I couldn't get through even like a first chapter. I tried hypnosis during that time. That was a little beneficial, and it actually started me on the route of meditation a little bit later on. But then again, I couldn't stay with it. I couldn't stick with it. And eventually I ended up going to medication because it seemed like my last resort. I didn't know what else to do. Again, very uneducated because it's my first time. And what I ended up doing after about a year or so of having that really intense anxiety was I said, okay, I'm going to go down the route of medication. And I did. I picked up medication and I also picked up a therapist with that medication. The therapist came first, the medication came with the therapist. And this was right when I was starting my freshman year of college. There was a lot of changes going on. Stress around like and uncertainty around what was coming, and other stories around how I was choosing my college, and one fell through, and there was just a lot going on. And so I decided to go down the route of medication at this time because of the fact that I needed some sort of support with my therapist, and then the medication was taking the pressure off. Now, the first thing that I want to say is that I'm not pro-medication. It helped me a vast amount. However, I do believe that we can move through our anxieties or some levels of depression. Not everybody. This isn't for everybody. But we can move through a lot of these things if we just have the right support systems that can help us through, that can take the pressure off, that can give us some structure when we can't provide structure for ourselves. That's essentially what I did this first time around with my therapist. However, medication was part of the mix. And then at one point in time later on, within these past 4 years, I went through intense anxiety again. Again, this is work, and I'm learning in each experience that I have with anxiety, and I'm changing my relationship to it and healing more and more as time goes on. But this first time with the medication, it allowed me, and I used this analogy actually in my video about Zoloft, medication and the therapist allowed me two things. They took the pressure off, number one, and they provided that support and that structure. So just like a broken leg, you have crutches and you have a cast. The cast provides the structure and the support, and the crutch takes the pressure off so you don't continue to injure yourself. Or with anxiety, you don't continue to go down that rabbit hole. And it allows you to kind of have breathing room, take the pressure off so that you can take time to learn hypnosis or read books about the mind and educate yourself. This is the most important thing. Medication alone will not help you grow and heal. It won't. Instead, if you are going to choose the route of medication, that's your choice, you have to do the work while you're on it. Learning about whatever it is that's bothering you. For me, it was learning about the mind. It was learning about things like hypnosis at that point in time. Understanding what anxiety was. And these things, slowly but surely, after reading books like Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman or The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, these things, they started to create a place, or uncover a place within myself that was kind of past the anxiety. It was past the fear, the doubts. And it allowed me a lot more clarity in understanding myself and my relationship to the anxiety, helping me recognize that I am not my mind. Rather, I am, that is a piece of me, but it's not the entire me. So when we identify with those things, they can really consume us. Whereas if we can see the picture of, yes, they're like clouds in our sky, and we can see the clouds passing by, and we could choose to get to identify with those clouds or not. It started to create this place in me where I was much more than just the anxiety. And it was only through educating myself during this time of medication that I was able to get there. And so the intention with this video is really just to illuminate the fact that there are so many resources and people and mentors and coaches and books and podcasts out there that are illuminating this place within yourself where you can come back to. It's almost like a vacation within yourself, where you can come back to this place past your anxieties. And this takes work, takes a lot of work, takes practice. This is a practice, but it's there. And ultimately, that is the way that I was able to get off of my medication, because of the fact that when I was on it, I was using it only as a crutch because I knew that I didn't want to be on medication long term. I made sure that I was taking steps and taking action to get myself to a place where medication wasn't necessary. And I haven't been on medication since 2016, and I have been through even more intense anxiety since that time when I first experienced anxiety. And the second time I went through it, I did it without medication. And this is why I really want to illuminate why it's so important to be educating ourselves, be growing within ourselves, and be healing ourselves through these points in times, and having a support system while we're educating ourselves, so that, again, somebody else can provide some structure for us when we can't supply structure for ourselves. These are hard things to move through, and they take time. So again, having that support system is really important. And one thing to mention, not everybody will be able to provide that support for you. Some people have the capacity and the tools to do it, and other people don't. Some people that you may view as your best friends, they might not have the ability to do that for you. So finding a therapist for me was really beneficial. So a therapist that really met my needs and my values was really beneficial. And that's the main intention. If you're going to choose medication, or if you're not going to choose medication, there are resources out there that we can take advantage of when we are anxious or when we are depressed. And it's when it's taking the ability for us to go through our day in just a normal day, when the anxiety or the depression is taking away from our ability to get through that day in a normal manner, there are resources out there for us to move through it, and it is 110% possible. I am sitting here, I've gone through 2 major experiences with anxiety, major to me, where I was just not able to move through a normal day. I wasn't able to do my schoolwork when I was in college or in high school. It was debilitating. I had concerns about my health, like serious irrational fears, and these what is the terminology? Intrusive thoughts about my health, about my sexuality, about death, etc. And they were irrational, and they were really taking my attention away from just my normal day-to-day activities. And I was able to make it through that by educating myself and spending time kind of uncovering that truer self past the fears, past the anxieties, past the worries. And it takes time, it takes work, but it's possible. So that's my intention, is just to share with you that this life past anxiety and past depression is possible. I'm not saying I don't have anxiety today, but my relationship to it has changed. What do I identify with? My truest self, or with the fears and all the old conditioning and the anxieties? I choose my true self, and I don't get wrapped up and identify with all of those fears that are around. And I'm healing them. So slowly but surely, they have less of an influence on me, and I'm able to move through them much quicker and with much less anxiety or downtime in that anxiety or in that depression. And the last thing that I'll say here is that, the last thing I promise, is that the number one tool, and I say this with absolute confidence, the number one tool that I feel has helped me to get from that first point of when I first experienced anxiety to where I am now, which is much more peaceful, much clearer, much happier, although I still have the little bits of anxiety here and there, is meditation. Meditation is a journey that started for me when I was about halfway through my 2-year time frame with medication. And so it's been about 6 years now. And meditation has been so incredibly beneficial in helping me uncover and curate that place within myself that is clear and it is past all of the anxiety, and it has helped me heal a lot of the fears, the worries, the anxieties. And I'll talk about that more in another video, but I really encourage you to check out, if you're in a place where you're really struggling right now, I 110% recommend, with my own experience, that you check out meditation. Whatever form you like, Vipassana, Transcendental Meditation, maybe download the Waking Up app with Sam Harris, Calm, there's Headspace, there's many out there, but that has been one of the most crucial tools in my own personal development, as well as having a coach and a few other things that I'll talk about in further videos. But that's number one. Thank you for tuning in. I am in the development of having my website made, where I'll have resources like books about meditation or just books about the mind and anxiety. And at some point in time soon, I will also have an area where you can see different coaches and reach out to people who can directly help you walk through things and walk through the challenges that you're facing. Much love to you. I might sneeze. Much love to you. And again, just know that you're going to be able to do it. I promise. Support systems, learning about ourselves, and doing the work. Bada bing, bada boom. Much love to you. We are learning and evolving together. I am here with you. I am learning and evolving myself. I still have the challenges, but again, it's like this. It's like the 2 millimeter rule. You know, we go up 5 steps, we come down 2, go up 5 steps, come down 2. We're slowly evolving. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you soon.